Hello, my name is Julian Flores, and today I'm going to be talking about what it's like working at a grocery store, specifically Aldi. So first, I'm going to be talking about what it's like being an actual store employee and the work culture that is involved. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about the challenges you might face while working there and the mindset that you must have. Finally, I'm going to be talking about the impact that working at Aldi for these last 8 months has had on me personally. So to start off with work culture, there's three main things that encapsulate what work culture means to me, which is cooperation, teamwork, and support. And I know all those things sound like they all have pretty much the same meaning, but they just go hand in hand. So essentially, for example, let's say I'm stocking a shelf and my coworker calls me up for backup to work at the register. So I'm going to go help them and then go back to my task, and then vice versa. All those things, they all just mesh together. So if someone needs help, I help them. If I need help, they help me. Now, to talk about being a store worker itself, it can be, to me, just like I was saying about work culture, there's two main things that encapsulate it. It's going to be resilience and learning. So to me, resilience is, specifically for Aldi, is if there's an angry customer at me. There's a customer that's angry at me for whatever reason. Coworkers frustrated. My manager's frustrated. Products breaking that I have to go clean up. Repetitions of the same task. I just have to power through. Now, learning. For me personally, it was very difficult at the very start because it was my first grocery store job. But I had to learn where everything was in the store, or at least have a very general idea. I had to learn how to go at a certain pace on the register. I had to learn a bunch of codes for the register, and I had to learn how to use different types of machinery. Now that I've talked about, now that I've talked about the work culture and being an employee itself, I'm going to talk about some of the challenges you may face while working at Aldi and the mindset that is required. So to talk about the challenges, like I was saying earlier, it could be varying different issues, from customers being angry to products breaking, whatever the case may be. But specifically, as a worker personally, there's a lot of repetition, mental and physical fatigue, and and speed. Speed is very, very important at Aldi. That's pretty much that's just what's expected of you as a worker. So you have to be working at a certain speed for pretty much everything, for stocking, for ringing, for being in the morning and throwing load, which is pretty much just putting products onto the shelf, for closing. And like I was saying earlier, a lot of that is just repetition, which again, as I was saying earlier, can lead to mental and physical fatigue because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Moving away from challenges, I want to talk about mindset. So when thinking about mindset, you have to be very accommodating, especially to, customers. Customer service is very, very important to Aldi, just like how speed is, as I was saying. So you have to be very kind to people. You have to be very understanding. You have to pretty much go out of your way. Obviously, because that's your job, you have to go out of your way to help, and you have to go out of your way to help them, basically. Now that I've talked about being a part of the work culture, being an employee itself, the challenges you may face, and the mindset you must have, I'm going to be talking about the impact that Aldi has had on me personally. So me personally, Aldi, I think, has helped me grow as a person in the fact that I've learned to be more understanding of people's situations, whatever that may be. I've learned to be more calm, more positive towards people, because you never know what they're going through. Along with that, I've picked up valuable skills, like I was saying, dealing with customer service, which will probably help me in the future for whatever job I do. And finally, I would like to talk about dedication. So when talking about dedication, obviously being hardworking is not a skill that I picked up just from Aldi, but I've learned that I've had to be more hardworking because of the job and the atmosphere that is there. And along with that, urgency is very important too. Now that I've talked about, that is the end of my speech. So first I talked about being a part of a work culture, being an employee itself. Secondly, I talked about the challenges you might face, and the mindset you must have. And thirdly, or excuse me, finally, finally, I talked about the impact that working at Aldi has had on me personally. Thank you for listening.